Common Core is supposed to elevate education in the U.S., but it's generating conflict across the country.
Yeah, this week Fox 10 News investigative reporter RENEE is taking a close look at Common Core, the controversy going around. Tonight she's here to tell us why some people think it's necessary.
Well, Denise and Bob, Common Core is a set of nationally recognized standards for each grade level, K through 12, so that when a student finishes third grade, for example, he or she will be on the same level as any other third grader in the country. It's a simple concept, but it's generated protest, anger, frustration, and even a lawsuit aimed at the federal government. As we try to get a better understanding of the standards and where they may be headed here on the Gulf Coast, we talk to people on both sides of the Common Core controversy.
A negative times a positive.
Common Core math has confused and frustrated Mobile County parents and students since it was implemented last year. And this year, the school system has added new English language arts standards. It's the second phase of the Common Core initiative in the state.
You're asking what does win-win have to do with the symbiosis?
Fifth grade teacher VENETTA Gray says her students at George Hall Elementary are adapting well to more rigorous standards.
What they're actually doing right now with their sheets is they're doing a close read of the text, focusing on unfamiliar words or vocabulary or words or phrases that they might have a question about.
So I want to know the area of this shape in yellow hexagons. How many of these?
For the first time, the same standards for English and math are being taught in Mobile and Baldwin counties and schools across the country.
We had, a nice, warm, fuzzy set of standards that everybody got, and we had them for lots and lots of years. And those parents that are helping those children with their homework were taught that way.
Nationally recognized Baldwin County Principal Hope ZEANAH was recently appointed assistant superintendent. She says those old standards were shortchanging Alabama students, and she believes Common Core standards are changing that.
We looked at where a child needed to be in 12th grade to be able to go into a secondary school, if it's Fulton, if it's Auburn, if it's Alabama, South Alabama. What skills, math skills, did they have to have? And our kids were not there. They were not ready.
And local school officials say Mobile County students are also on track to mastering Common Core skills.
So take about 30 seconds.
Gray, who has 8 years teaching experience, says it's a better approach to learning.
Yeah, it is different. About 8 years ago, we probably would just read through the entire text with them and let them answer a few questions that come after the text. But we found it to be more meaningful when we're able to go in and discuss what's actually going on in the text.
No more Common Core. No more Common Core.
Not everyone is happy about Common Core standards. Some fear it's an attempt by the federal government to take over local schools. Department of Education Secretary Arnie Duncan has traveled the country trying to convince the public that the new standards are what this country needs.
But we need to have high, internationally benchmarked college and career-ready standards. And so whether common or not, that's less the issue. It's more having high standards.
Duncan says frustration over a growing number of graduates who need remedial courses at 2- and 4-year colleges led to Common Core. The planning for the new standards of achievement for kindergarten through 12th grade started in 2007. The goal, to ensure graduates are prepared for college or the workforce. By 2010, the governors of 46 states, including Alabama's Bob Riley, had signed on to implement the standards. In 2012, Mobile County rolled out the mathematics standards, the first phase of Common Core in Alabama. But the standards that are intended to bring more unity to education in the U.S. are generating protest across the country.
It puts entirely too much stress on the teachers. It puts entirely too much stress on the students.
Protesters are raising questions about Common Core standards that express their concern over what they consider a one-size-fits-all approach to education. Here in Mobile County, critics say difficult and complex standards are being forced on students too early. They're worried that too much emphasis will be placed on test scores that will drive the curriculum, and they're concerned about cost.
I think that there's just a lot of mixed information out there. Some of it, probably isn't as based on as much fact as it needs to be.
Mobile County School Superintendent Martha Peak says the transition to Common Core has not sparked major protest or demonstrations in Mobile County.
We had 10 families, I'm saying approximately, it was no more than 10 families who objected to their children taking the test this time.
Peake says Common Core raises the bar for education in Alabama, and she believes it's a good thing.
So with the Common Core coming in, it's brought in more rigorous standards. Are we having to adjust to that? Yes. And it's going to take a couple of years.
They say that they're more rigorous, but there's no proof of that. They're totally untested, and they're using our children as guinea pigs.
Retired Mobile County school teacher Francine Davis is part of a growing opposition to Common Core in Alabama. She says Common Core is an experiment that could do more harm than good, and we will hear more from her tomorrow.
Okay, we're talking about national standards. So is Common Core in the law in all the states?
Well, actually, it's not. Some of the states, 5 of them, never adopted them at all, and a few of those states, 3 states, Indiana, Oklahoma, and South Carolina, did initially adopt the standards, but they've since backed out.
Thanks, Renee.
You're welcome.